3, 2, now it's you.
Alright, imagine you come home from school and you're actually going to try to work on some of the homework that you got. So you open your book and you're like, man, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So the first thing you do, what I do, is you Google it. If you're lucky enough, you find the answer key that goes with the assignment and your work has got a whole lot easier. Well, Google didn't start just overnight.
The TV.
Okay.
There we go.
So, Achievements.org is where I got background information of the founders of Google, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Larry Page was born in Lansing, right here in Michigan, in 1973. His father was a professor of computer science and artificial intelligence at Michigan State University. His mother taught computer programming. Sergey Brin was born in Moscow, Russia, also in 1973, and he immigrated with his family to the United States at the age of 6 and to Adolphi, Maryland. His father was a professor of mathematics at the University of Maryland, and his mother didn't really have a job either. Okay, so how it began. Weird.com, Wired.com, and Google's About Page is where I got the background information of Google. First of all, Google wasn't even really called Google at first. It was called Backroom.
What?
Yeah.
Backroom.
It was Page's project in college. He was working on, it wasn't even a search engine at first. He was working on a way to search a web page for backlinks of like whatever. So what it would do, the idea of it was it would search keywords within a website and all the websites that are linked to it. Kind of like how Facebook, you search whatever and it comes up with hashtags and profiles only in Facebook. And it would, this idea that it would display the more popular results at the top and then the less at the bottom was kind of new. You had no other search engine at the time, even though this wasn't a search engine, came up with it. It was called PageRank. Brian. Okay, so how Brian and Page met was Brian gave a tour guide at Stanford University. He just volunteered there. And Page ended up on one of his groups. At first, they found each other very annoying, and they were very both heavily opinionated and didn't get along at all. Oh. Yeah, they found each other obnoxious. Brian ended up needing a research topic, and every other research group he didn't like at all, and he eventually went down to Page. And Page needed his skills to do this because Page was more in mathematics, while Brian had more in computers where he could actually build it. It was actually, as I said before, it was not intended for internet searching at all. It was just a project that he thought would be cool to make. Then you realize after a while that the searches at the time, because it was just 5 years earlier that the internet came out, so there wasn't much. So he found it was more powerful. So in 1996, he renamed it to Google, and he published it on his computer in his dorm, in Page's dorm room. And they didn't have money for computers, so they literally went around to all the classrooms and stuff and bed for computer parts and stuff. So they eventually just built this piece of computer in the room, and that's where Google started on in 1996. And then eventually it became so popular just in Stanford alone because Stanford University's network crashed several times over the summer, and eventually they were pretty much getting in trouble for it. So they dropped out of college and headed up to Mountain View, California in 2004 and started a $1 billion company. So today, Google has more than 70 offices in more than 40 countries around the world, and that is how Larry Page and Sergey Brin made Google.